Good news, everyone. It's June 24th at 10:21 a.m. It's my day off.
Kind of want to do this like talking, sorting stuff. Literally, like just sorting and talking. Like, there's no. This is it. You know, grab apart, throw in a bin. Is it fun? Well, anything's fun if you make it fun. So that's how I like to view it. Most of the time, I listen to podcasts like the Joe Rogan Experience or Theo Vaughn's The Weekend. This past weekend, that's a pretty good one. Kill Tony, of course. That's ooh. Don't get me started on Kill Tony. I haven't watched every single episode because there's like 850 or something. But personally, as soon as I found out that show existed, I binged it and I couldn't stop binging it. Honestly, it's kind of weird. Like, it seems like the earlier things are like really hard to watch. Like from like 0 to like 200. Like those episodes are really hard to watch because it's so not what you're used to. And I feel like a lot of shows, it takes a while for them to like know who they are and get their voice. And oh, just broke a piece, a little reddish brown chair. So it's always like finding your footing, and then once you get that footing, you could just like go skyrocket, launch yourself. But if you never take those steps to put those like blocks into place where you can actually step on them, you fall flat on your face and you're still on the ground level. Pretty much saying if you don't accomplish your dreams, someone else will accomplish your dreams, and then they're gonna monetize it, so they're gonna make money off of your dreams. Um, that's why designing all those Lego sets for the other people in the past, that was never like, oh, that was cool, a like dream type scenario, but it's not your dream to work for free and someone just profits all over your hard-earned work. At least if you go to a 9 to 5 job, like I said before, you interact with people and have a life of some kind, semblance of a life. So it's much more fulfilling, and you have goals and aspirations, and maybe you meet someone, good friend, you know, go out for drinks or go out to restaurants, sushi. That's my personal preference is sushi. I like the texture, the consistency, I guess. The It may seem like I'm rambling, just going. I'm literally just talking, sorting. So there's no like. I have guidelines of how I talk. You know, it's whatever I come up with my noodle brain. But yeah, sushi personally, it's always that comfort food. But then all these like recent studies showing that maybe fish are conscious and have sentience and stuff. And it's like there's nothing in this world that isn't, you can't just like consume and not feel bad, because even grass can feel or whatever. Which, you know, they say like, oh, you talk to the trees and will you talk back? But it's not so, more so of what they say, it's more so of what they don't say, because dogs can't talk, but they yell at you, they scream at you, all these like little little nuances that you don't really catch on, because you could tell by a dog's bark if it's a happy bark or like a sad bark or a get away from me bark. So there's, even though there's one option, there's different routes you can take to get to that solution. I guess that's just with the engineering, analytical part of my brain where every problem has a solution, and don't feel like you can't solve a problem right now. Because maybe 10 years from now, you're like, oh wow, I figured out that one thing in college I was thinking about, you know. Because I always watch Mr. Ballen's podcast, um, scared, dark, and mysterious uh, podcast that he creates I think every day or every other day. And I actually bought his books. It's on the shelf. Pretty cool. Really enjoy those. But Mr. Ballen always goes to. In some stories, there's investigators that have these cases that they're cold cases. They don't nobody touches them. Nobody has more information for them to input into the story, and so it's always this. Oh, we never know what happened to that lady or that guy. Like, oh, until 5 years later, 10 years later, that it was sitting on someone's desk and they're randomly thinking one thought and it just pops in their head. Oh wow, it was the babysitter, it was this guy, it was a landscaping guy. So it's always you sit and ruminate on something and eventually you fester that idea. That idea becomes something real, and that real thing can help or destroy a lot of people's lives. And that's why I never wanted to go in politics. I guess I'm just too real and too alive to want to become anything in politics. But it doesn't mean I don't support other people that want to pursue that. My geography teacher and psychology teacher in high school, it was so funny because he was applying to become the mayor of my town. And he won. He won. And it's funny because I saw him at the gas station a while back. And I'm like, oh, Mr. Blah, blah, blah. Hey, congratulations on the mayorship, you know, kind of thing. And he's like, oh, thanks, Tony. You know, every teacher remembers me. I'm a pretty good student. But the gist of it was, I'm like, it's kind of like Back to the Future when Marty McFly is like talking to the custodian saying, you ever think about becoming mayor? And he was like, mayor sounds nice. And it's just like, and then he goes in the future and he becomes mayor. Because he gave him that idea, that little seed, that little seed is probably the best way to put it. Because once it grows, if you water that little seed, that seed becomes a tree, a big sequoia. You cut it down, becomes a really beautiful mansion for some posh person, you know. But the gist of it is, you don't know what you have until you lose it, and then you lost it, and then you're like, oh, I wish I had that thing that I lost. And that's how I feel about this channel. And if I don't be like, if I don't talk to you guys, then you leave, which is pretty accurate, you know. I wouldn't say lonely, but I feel like a lot of things in my life have gone away and you can't replace it. But that doesn't mean you can't have that fulfilling void filled in your life. Because when I was younger, I was always, I won't be like, oh, I was always me, but I am always me. Way to put that is, always been shy, never really wanted to stand out. I always felt like I was there and nobody really cared. Not cared, but like, oh, you're just there, you know, kind of thing. I don't put myself down, but I would always be, say in the back of the classroom, just, you know, hands folded, you know, just doing my work, just doing what I'm supposed to do. And it doesn't help that other people, they don't do what they're supposed to do. But yet, I guess they get more, not opportunities, but more attention. That's the word. Because they're standing out, they want to be the goofy kid, you know, weird, you know. And I always didn't want to stand out, just to get my work done, you know, clock in, clock out, kind of like day at work, just kind of, I'm here, if you need help, I'm here. And I've had a few people say like, oh, keep up the hard work, keep up what you're doing. And I'm just like, what are you talking about? I don't even know what you're talking about. Like, oh, there's like, oh, whatever you're doing, keep it up. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. So it's like, I never said like, oh, I'm smart. Because if you say you're smart, then you look dumb and foolish later on when you make a mistake. So I always, the Dunning-Kruger effect, how you just don't really go into anything. The false confidence can lead you in a good direction or in a bad direction. Because someone that sees that false confidence and is like, oh, maybe that false confidence is confidence. Because he's so confidently aware that he will do it. And that's pretty much the mindset I've always been in. It's like, I'm gonna try my best, and if it doesn't work out, well, at least I know I tried my best. So, and I always like to say, I wouldn't say I'm a try hard. I'm more so of a try hardy. Tony Hardy, you know. Because if you don't try, like, just different things, after a while, the stagnation in life, if there's no variety, it's the same stuff every single day. People they don't feel like they grow. At least I don't feel like I grow. At least mentally and physically. Because one thing about going to the gym and going to fitness, you may have all these dreams of six pack, ripped, you know, all the whole shebang. But you get it. I'm not saying I have it, but I'm not healthy, that kind of thing. And it's always the then what, now what. It's like this mountain that never. You climb the mountain, there's another mountain. You climb the mountain, there's another mountain. You climb the mountain, there's another mountain. And I feel like that's why I just didn't want to continue just making mediocre-ish type uploads. Because there's just so much of it. And then AI doesn't help anyone or anything. I don't want to say, oh, AI is the devil, because that brings the biblical terms into things, and I don't want to do that, per se. Because you also have to be like, how do I look on the outside when you call things the devil? Oh, that's the devil, that's the devil. And it's like, who are you? Are you an angel? You know? I'm no angel. But I'm no devil. So, when you ask yourself the hard hitting questions of like your moralities, where they lie, who do you trust, who don't you trust, how do you treat people, how do they treat you? I grew up Catholic. Yeah, I grew up Catholic. I always kind of get those Catholic Christian confused. You know, it's I don't want to talk about God, but I'm talking about God and spirituality. But then when you talk about religion, that's the human brain part, the interference. But when you have the like direct contact with, your higher being, someone made your father, and someone made your grandpa, someone made your great grandpa. But if you just keep on, were we all single cell amoebas just a few million millennia ago? Like, I don't want to say I'm more special or less special than any other creature in the universe, but without the observer observing the universe. I'm not saying I'm the observer. I'm only a observer of many. I always wondered what that that one YouTube video was. A freshman explains a fourth dimension. That was always a good video. It was this autistic guy. I could say that because I'd say I'm Toddistic because Todd is my dad. And if you're not odd like Todd, I don't know what you're going, what you're doing in life. Oh, over there. There's a lot of different colored greens. This is olive green, or not olive, dark, like, I don't know. It's a green. Part of me is like, I think autism and all these like new terms that are relatively new, it's just people with like weird obsessions. Like the train thing, like dinosaurs. I mean, you could like something, but some people just take everything to extremes. But then again, if you're gonna do it right, and don't half-ass anything. Show up to work. If you're happy or mad, if you're sad or bad, just show up. It's not about you. This thing has never been about me, ever, or you. And once you figure that out, and it's like there's this constant goal everyone's trying to reach in the universe of like hopefully wanting to do better than the previous day. But then again, you ask yourself, what is better? Better for yourself, better for your family, for your friends, for your community, or because people can go around and like, oh, I'm better than I was yesterday, but is that almost ignorant to tell yourself that you're better than yesterday because the day before that you're better than the previous day, and so better for what? Better for who? That kind of concept. I always like to ask myself the hard-hitting questions because if you don't, I don't know what to ask you. You're gonna hit a certain age and you're gonna ask yourself these questions. more so the universe is gonna permutate these questions in your brain, and then one day you'll either be happy with your life decisions or be miserable. The At age 20, like 18, 20, 25, and 30, the early years of growth and maturity. So it's always that, like, if you don't know what you're doing by the age of 30, what are you doing? And you have to ask yourself that. Otherwise, the people around you will ask you that. And it doesn't help when the social pressures of, like, oh, you have to have a mate or a partner or some sort of outlet for you to let your emotions out to these group of people. But once you leave yourself vulnerable, that's where a lot of people, they open up to someone, and then they crush their heart, and they don't want to open up ever again to anyone else. That's where you see a lot of people really hurt and damaged right now. Especially me, because I always try to see the light, but when it's really dark, it could be sunny out, but I could still feel like, meh, you know. And that's what this Lego has always grounded me to what is important and what's not important. Priorities. What do you prioritize? In Back to the Future Part 3, that's pretty funny. This the sheriff is like, remember that word, son? Discipline. And he's like, discipline. Yeah. And yeah, having kids would be nice, but then I'm like, I feel like it's a anchor right now in my life because I have so much more to give to the universe. And you can have a kid, but then the kid becomes your universe. And I still want to experience this universe from only me and, like, my dad had kids at 18. And he's always told me, Tony, by your age, I had 2 kids, I was married, blah, blah, blah. You know, and he never could do anything for himself because he was always doing everything for everyone else. So it's this constant. I feel like women are supposed to have kids early, and then guys are just like, party, party, then have kids, and then party, party, you know. That way you're still a cool dad, you know? A cool stepdad, or a cool unk, you know? I could say I'm an unk. Got some nieces and nephews somewhere. Have I seen them? Nope. You want to see them? Why? You know? Just because people are your relatives and they're in your family, they don't talk to you. You don't talk to them. It's, I don't know if it's better that way or worse. Well, sort out all of that little hodgepodge right here. Now I just grab a little bit more and go a little boop. That way it's a manageable state of just, okay, I get to sort out this little handful, and then another handful, another handful. Because most of the time I'm just listening to music or podcasts right now. But it's good to speak with your chest, you know? even if only 5 people watch this. Um, I mean, that's 5 people that aren't watching AI generated stuff. So that's something, right? I guess if I look at it like this, for every person that's watching me, that's another person not watching AI slop. So, I'm pretty good. I mean, AI slop is it's pretty sloppy. Some of these short films I've been watching, like I watched Hellraiser and Darth Vader. I mean, the visuals. The guy spent what? He said a few months writing the script and blah blah blah. I just feel like the fan films right now, they're really stiff. It's just people kind of like taking 2 steps, blah blah blah, take 2 more steps, blah blah blah. Maybe one thing happens throughout the entire thing. Duration. That's the word of the entire film. But it's really boring, and maybe cool things happen, and the 2 cool things that happen are really, really cool. And I was just thinking, if he just took the 2 cool things out of that little short film and expanded upon that and only did the cool things, then I see why everyone in Hollywood, all the news media outlets, are just like, oh, it's doomed. Hollywood's over, blah, blah, blah. It's been over for a long time for Hollywood, which is, I don't want to say good, but it's definitely not good for the human soul and spirit to be surrounded by all these predators. And you definitely don't want to like continue that trend. Now it's like, I mean, AI is not better just because it's not human made. There's no humans. Well, there's still human suffering and animal cruelty because all the water it uses and all these places that it destroys. I was talking to my coworker, and I was saying to her how back in the old days when it was all villages and stuff. So I was reading this architecture book. They're explaining if you made a house and it collapsed on someone, then whoever made the house, the builder or the designer, whoever, is their first son or whoever, son or daughter is executed, which is, I think, gives you more pressure to make a standing structure. But then again, it's the eye for an eye rule. Gandhi, I don't want to quote Gandhi, but eye for an eye, the world goes blind. And I feel like a lot of people are blind right now. Like, just pure blind with rage. Rage from higher ups abusing their power. Meanwhile, they feel like, what was I doing this for if you're just gonna be diddling whoever, And you put yourself like, oh, I'm better than them, but it's like, it's all just human nature. Like, everything is always human nature. It's that nature nurture. Do we learn our behavior, or is it like from birth? Is it nurtured? Like, is it nature like from nature, or nurture is learned behavior? I always enjoy that kind of aspect of psychology. The Stanford prison experiment, I was trying to think about that. That was brought in psychology. Same teacher that's the mayor now. Go back to that. In that experiment, there was like 5 prisoners and then 5 guards, and the test was just to see people's reaction, and it's all make believe. Everyone in the experiment pretty much went crazy except the wife of the test guy, the experimenter, because he got into the. He pretty much gave them like full authority to like beat them up and like yell at them, and eventually they became prisoners because they acted the part, they looked the part, they played the part, and it showed that humans, in given certain situations, if they're told they're garbage and they're POSs and all these like names and terms, people will become that. And it's unfortunate because we all have brains, but majority don't use them. A while ago, I told my friend, you know why I think so much is because I feel like if I don't, I won't. You know, I won't think because my grandma had Alzheimer's when I was, what, 5 to 10. That's like the early years of, people taking care of you, but it was kind of like the opposite. I wouldn't like take care of my grandma, but like I would make sure she's okay. And vice versa, she took care of me when I was a little baby. And so it's this definitely she brought me up, I brought her up, the kind of thing. And she never spoke English. For a good visualization, if you ever see Encanto, the Disney Pixar movie, one of my favorite movies, Pixar movies, and this thing of the grandma, that's my grandma, like 100%. Like, you got a photo of us right there, and she was so funny because this one time she was eating a fruit plate, but the fruit, they weren't real. It wasn't a real tray of food. Because my dad, he worked at OMSI and brought over these plastic bananas, grapes, apples, oranges, and my dad goes over there and looks at the table and is like, "What's this?" Because it was a grape stem, but there's no grapes on it, and it was all empty. And so we kind of put together, okay, so she ate all the fake plastic grapes. Must have not taste good, but you got Alzheimer's, so it's like anything tastes good. And then the bananas, two of them, the stems were broken off, and you could see like the styrofoam inside. And it was pretty funny because there's this other time she grabbed the chocolate syrup, and I caught her pouring it straight into a coffee mug. And I was, like, "Grandma, what are you doing? ¿Qué pasó? ¿Qué pasa?" And she's like, "Oh, just coffee." She thought it was coffee, kind of thing. And it wasn't coffee, so I had to like take it from her, like pour it down the drain, and she's still cute. She's like grabbing my shirt, like, "Oh no!" Like when your grandma like hits you, it's not like hitting you. It's more so of like, just like, "Oh, don't do that. That's mine." That kind of situation. Because you can't get mad. You can't. But why? What? "Oh, you poured chocolate syrup in a cup." And don't take life seriously. That's what I'm getting at. Because the moment you think life is serious, I feel like is the moment life is over. And I feel like I'm only 26, but I lived 1,000 years, it's all these different stories from like your like previous, before you were born, you hear from your family, how all the little steps that they took in order to, I guess, make you to this day, and all these like little micro decisions somehow surmounted to this point where you are breathing and talking, and you know the words that you know because of the parents that brought you into this world, whether you like it or not. It's like a while ago when I had my therapist, Mark, he was saying to me, like, nobody asked to be here, but we're here, and we gotta, deal with each other in harmony, kind of deal. And which is true, because if you go around just constantly hating on things and like, oh, I hate my life sucks, blah blah blah. I mean, I probably would hate your life if you hated your life, I don't hate, that's the thing, but people make it really easy for me to dislike them when they don't like themselves. And boom, another little group put away. There's no really any rhyme or reason to anything. You can try to make rhyme and reason. All these little weird, like a scatter plot, all these data points, you kind of like, okay, I've lived this long, all these like weird little patterns keep on happening at this time in these other people's lives. All these little roadblocks that people encounter. Okay, so don't get a girl pregnant at 16, don't do that. So didn't do that. That's good. Don't, party with your friends and party hard and then take a right instead of a left and now you're all dead, you kind of thing. I heard this quote. It was like Theo Von was saying, like, it seemed like high school was only just trying to not die in a car accident. And I kind of relate to, not just who your friends are at the time. Like, who do you are your most, like, 5 friends, you are them pretty much to the T. So I didn't really have a lot of friends ever throughout high school. I had like I'm not saying I'm a groupie, but I'll have like little groups of friends I would just kind of like migrate towards. I never felt like I was held down. I never had a girlfriend in high school. The idea of having a girlfriend in high school seems nice, but in reality, I knew it was like not. It was a waste of time because it's not going to be anything from it. And don't get me wrong, I went on dates, and went out a few times. Girls ask me out, I just don't. Cool. I like you, but over there, kind of thing. But personally, it's more so of like, do we click? Like a Lego piece. Do I say something and you're gonna laugh, or do you get offended what I said? And like all these like little nuanced things. You just gotta figure out if they're chill or not chill. Because if you say a funny joke, it's a funny joke. But if they have that like weird, I'm offended, then it's not. You can't talk to them because you can't joke around with them. It's like, if you stop yourself from laughing, just don't be a little sassafras juice, you know? Or a little sourpuss. Well,
That offended me. That was mean of you. How dare you say that?
because usually the funniest things are the most true, and so you have to observe situations from the lens of the truth, and you say it as it is, and you just keep on doing that for longer and longer periods of time. More people either respect you or don't respect you, and if they don't respect you, there's something about themselves that they don't respect. It's more the jealousy of, well, he said that, but that's what I thought or something. So they have like this weird jealousy mindset. It's Moff Gideon and Mandalorian. It's like, you have something I want. I was thinking about that quote. I can either take it from you forcefully, or you can die a miserable death. It's like, okay, bro. Some people you just gotta do what they say, you know. Or else. Ooh, what's or else? Oh, you don't want to find out. I was thinking, do I want to call it building and sorting? But I'm not building anything. But I'm building like the talking muscles, I guess. Getting them all warmed up. Not the most riveting content in the universe, but it says something about the universe. Maybe there doesn't need to be a riveting content to be riveted, you know? So some things can be simple. If there's no Where's Waldo, it's just the I Spy book, you know? But as soon as you put the Waldo in the Where's Waldo, it's Where's Waldo, you know? So that's like, where's Tony, you know? Oh, just, you know, trucking along, doing the stuff. See, and this one's full. I'm gonna go over there, empty it, and do that. My dad walked in, so I had to pause the video. So there's no audio, because I'm not a huge fan of like adding people into videos when like literally mid video, nothing. But pretty much what I was going off of, like, it's crazy how some people can specifically make video games that they're intended to be scary, but the whole time it just comes off as cheesy and funny, and it's not anything. But yeah, a person can make a Minecraft mod, and it's literally scarier, like the tension is scarier than any video, like horror video game I've ever played. Even just watching it, it's like, I know the cheap jump scares or whatever, but it's not. It's the atmosphere that Minecraft already has. How can someone take that's a game that's all peaceful and just mine blocks, you know? How do you turn that into something that's so horrifying? Like every single blade of grass, if it's a shade too dark, it looks like a little arm or something. It's this, like, it plays with your brain. It almost puts you like this weird psychosis mode of like fight or flight, like at every corner, and it's like really. And then the next video you watch, it's like a happy, weird type of
Hey guys, welcome to Minecraft video. We're on freaking part 575, building world, hardcore Minecraft world.
You know, you get that, and then you go to horror type of videos, and it's just like the vibe is. I think that's all it is. It's just the vibes, man. We're just trying to find the correct vibe that matches us. I guess I just want to be scared. I want to feel something. But it's always good to feel not scared, but definitely feel like that feeling when like, oh, someone's watching you or something. Like this one time at work a few weeks ago, it was really funny because so I'm in the back room and someone's pushed the little buzzer because they wanted to get inside. I think it was like USPS or something. Not USPS, FedEx. And it was really funny because so he pushed the button, and then I saw on the screen that he was just doing a little dance, a little shimmy. And it was funny because when he came inside, when he was let inside, I was like, oh, like your little dance, a little powwow dance, whatever, a little waiting dance. And then he's like, oh yeah, I thought someone was like watching me or something. And I'm just like, someone's always watching you, that kind of thing. And I walked away, and I stopped and thought for a second. I really say these like very deep, meaningful, life-bending thoughts. And if people don't pick up that book that I set in front of them, then oh well, they didn't read a book, It's looking beyond what you see. You look at someone, you're like, they got a lot of stories. It's just finding the right questions to ask, honestly. That's what like Kill Tony, the whole interview process of like, so how long you been doing comedy, and they say blah blah blah, how many years, or not how many years. And then where you're from, did you learn comedy there, where'd you start, you kind of get to know people that way. And it's very insightful way to get to know people. Besides just asking like, hi, how are you? Be like, I mean, you can compliment people, but just leave it as a compliment. Don't try to like psychoanalyze people constantly, because people don't really like that. Because a lot of times people don't want to feel like they're an open book. They want to feel like, oh, I'm unique or I'm something, Most people, we're a creature of habit, so we do what we did before. And, monkey see, monkey do. A lot of behavior is definitely learned behavior. But then there's a lot of weird behaviors that people just like. Someone has a kid, and then the mom and dad are like, I don't know where they got that from. They didn't get it from me or you. So it's like, there's always like this weird external thing somewhere that somehow we pick up along the way in our life that we either like or don't like about ourselves. It's like, oh, I have a big nose, so I should be insecure about my nose. And so since I'm insecure about my nose, I have to like cover my nose up more often. And since you're covering your nose up more often, you're like, you look like more submissive, less outgoing. So all these like little things can add up here and there until one day you realize, oh wow, I'm this or I'm that. So it's always good to like not put yourself in a box. Personally, I like to see the box, hypothetically. So you got a box right in front of you. I like to see it. I like to know where every single edges are. That if you're in that box, and every surface you can walk on, and you just took one more step right off the edge, then it's like, well, I know not to take that step. I know where the line blurs. So you have to know your boundaries with people and yourself. All these like little nuances in life. Like, oh, I'm not going to say that because they offended you or it hurt your feelings. People got a lot of those. Even if they don't say they have a lot, that means they have more. They have so many feelings that their feelings have took control of who they are and has guided them down this path of, I actually don't have any feelings. And all it takes is one little snacky comment, and it could totally like make them explode. Go, ah! How'd they know? You know. So it's always good to have thick, turtle-like skin. Why do I say turtle-like? Because they're very rough and coarse, and does get everywhere like sand. But it's always good to keep yourself not thick-skinned and thick-minded, but like tell yourself you're important, but not that important. You know, just live life. Don't be so serious. Don't be so anxious. Don't. But then again, you can't tell yourself that all the time. It's more so of like not asking yourself the questions, but like if you don't ask yourself these questions, where does it lead you? And is a path that you would like to take in this life? The what if, what if I took a right instead of a left? You know, don't ask yourself that question because it doesn't matter. Next time you could take a left, but this time you're taking a right. You know, just don't. Ah! You know, oh, it's the end of the world. Hey, we're all gonna die. That's the point of life. Is brought here, live, do your thing, go. It's kind of like a big waiting room, honestly. And that's why I despise waiting. DMVs. Anytime that I'm waiting anywhere, I'll just fall asleep. I'll close my eyes and open them when I need to. At my graduation, I was just like eyes closed. I'm opening them when I need to walk, that kind of thing. I wasn't like anxious or scared. It was more so of like, that was it. I'm 13 years of studying, well, not studying hard, but like all his work led to this moment, and it was really meaningful because I did so many projects with the principal at the time. I mean, he's not there anymore, which I'm glad, because after that there was a bunch of scandals with teachers and students, and I'm like, oh. I mean, it started to get pretty bad when in 2018 when I left, graduated. But now it's just like, what the heck? School is supposed to be to learn, and that's it. I don't know what happened along the way. People are like, let's just do drugs the whole time and like skip class and like do whatever and just party and ooh and just do everything you're not supposed to. And that's what bothers me. People that do what they're supposed to, you do it and then what, you get a high five at the end? Nope. You get no golden medal. You get no admiration, no feedback. Maybe you get like a handshake or good job along, like from 1-2 people. But like, all you could do is just keep on trucking along and just choo choo. That was a train. It'd be more like ha if it was a truck. But definitely just keep on doing you. Do your passionate thing that you're passionate about. Whatever that is, drawing, sculpting, watching YouTube videos, playing video games, working on cars, cooking, cleaning, painting cars, mowing the lawn, doing laundry, literally whatever mundane thing that someone else might think is the most boring thing in the whole universe. That's the other person's forte. So, my thing, I don't know what it is. Just do the thing, make something cool. But at a certain point, I realize anything I make is cool. Literally, I could take like this part, that part. Oh, cool! I got a prison cell. Ooh, it's got cinder block. It's a little, it's called imagination. And it's a dying. That's one of the songs by Joji that I sung to is last of a dying breed, flying high from the open seas. And art, that's my forte. Art, not fart, is art. My art is not fart, even though it's a burst, a release of creative energy. I don't know what it is. You could say it's a release. Yeah, that's how I feel when I make an art piece or like draw something or like do anything artistically, even like singing. I always try to add my own voice because we are our own voice. It's not some sort of third person talking, it's you talking. And I feel like in all my like little sing-alongs I always try to like the artist's voice and then there's my voice. I always try to put myself above the artist's voice. That way it's like it's a duet and it's a synchronicity and there's like we're walking side by side, like all the little Billie Eilish videos that I've been posting. Like I know it's definitely something inside me unlocks is like I hear a tone of my voice where I wouldn't have heard that otherwise. So it definitely unlocks this different part of my voice that I didn't know I had. Because it is different tone. No pun intended, Tony. But you could be a person of depth or you could be very shallow, like an ocean. You can be the surface level or you could be in the twilight zone. And I feel like I've always taken life seriously, but then slowed down when I needed to make it fun. Because if you don't slow down, wake up one day and be like, what'd I do? Who did I do it with? Was it fun? I don't know. I just went to school, went to work, went to home, went to this, went to that. So it's always good to like check yourself before you wreck yourself. And there's no rhyme or reason, like I said before, for anything. Or anyone at that point. I don't like discussing other people because I believe other people matter, but in their own eyes, they don't matter to themselves. Unfortunately. A lot of people put themselves down. I don't know why. I think you have to break the chains of like self-destruction, of self-negative talk. Be like, oh, you suck, you're gonna not be the best, blah, blah, blah. Like, what part of you is telling yourself that? You have to identify that part isolate it and like strangle it, and don't give it any sort of fuel. Don't ever like put yourself down, literally, because like the world puts you down regularly, and if you put yourself down, you're lower than everyone else. So it's like me mentally, I'm not even on the screen. I'm up different universe, and you can like, and a year from now, like you're angsty. Oh, people might think, you know, that eats away at you over time. I'm not gonna say, oh, I know everything. I don't know everything. I don't want to know everything. I don't think you should know everything. Because, you know, Indiana Jones, Crystal, was it Crystal Skull? Very end, she's like, I want to know everything. And then it's not, she felt everything. You want to know what being burnt alive is like? Okay. You want to know what it's like to have hypothermia? Okay. You want to know like to be eaten alive by a scorpion? You know? Okay. So you ask yourself, what is everything? And like, as everything, ever. From open your eyes, little infant, to closing your eyes on your deathbed. Like that's literally. I mean, even when you go to sleep in the subconscious realm, that's everything too. And there's always that question, like, if you were gonna ask the universe any question, the answer is gonna be 42 or something. From Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. And that's Elon Musk's favorite little quote. I'm not gonna say like, oh, I'm spiritual but we're pattern recognition creatures, and if you keep on seeing like these weird symbols everywhere, and everywhere you keep on seeing these weird symbols, that's my little note to self. Anytime I see like a 42, I'm like, hey, 42, woo. I'm always like, woo. So it gets me like, not, I'm saying if I'm sad, this will make me happy. But it definitely like, snap out of it. Hey in there. Hello. You know. Why being all grumpy puss? I mean, you got 10 digits. Toes. Got all my toes. Got my knees. Got my tonies. I am Tony. And got my brain. It works. I got my eyesight. I got all my senses. I don't have any debt. I don't owe anyone anything. I'm not a bad guy. I mean, of course, it probably pissed people off along the way, but I haven't killed anyone. I mean, all these things. It's like, yeah, I haven't done this yet. I haven't done that yet. But just because it's an option in life doesn't mean you have to go down that path. Because if you see a dark alleyway, midnight, you're gonna put your headphones on and walk blindly into the dark and this alleyway at night? No, just don't put yourself in that position at all. Don't be on the street at night around that area. So like, what led up to that? Like, were you at the bar? Why were you at the bar? You wanted to get some, other people. You wanted to get other people's affection, but then you overdrink, and then you stumble your way out. Then you find yourself in this alleyway, and it's like, how'd I get here, man? And it's like, well, your own 2 feet got you here. So a lot of people's own decisions are based on their previous bad decisions. And at a certain point, I feel like no decision I've made has been, yeah, but like, in the intention and then the actual decision. Well, did they intend to do that? Do they intend to hurt that person? It's like, well, who's to say? Who's to say that they're not just covering up their butt right now? That way they don't go to jail. It's hard to say what people mean. Well, I didn't mean that. Yeah, but that's not what you said. That kind of thing. Oh, that's not what I meant. It's like, so you say things that you don't mean. So you're just hot air, just you know, and that's why a lot of people don't know who they are, because if everything they say doesn't mean anything, the things they say, if it comes to something serious, they don't mean. That's where it's like, it's good to joke around, but then come back to the serious. But then you can be all, you know, bleh. It's always good to have that duality, but there's always a time and a place. Don't be at like a funeral and start busting up laughing or something. You remember a joke that you heard. You know, there's always a correct situation and then a not correct situation. But then if you're with your friends, I know, you know, a stranger is just a future friend that you haven't made yet. But like good friends, like real good friends, like lifelong good friends, are really, 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 really hard to find. Not because I'm saying they're hard to find, but quality people that have quality lives. Yeah. That's even harder to find. Now look at this. This is full again, so let me just and this is also good for me to see like what parts I have in my inventory, because if I don't know what parts I have, I don't want to buy a bunch of parts, more parts that I already have a bunch of I didn't know I had. And so it's always good to know what you have and what you don't have. That way you can buy what you don't have. But I'm getting to the point where I just have everything ever, and I'm just like, it's so overwhelming. With all the dreams and aspirations. And then a part of me is like, oh, I could die any second. So I better sort this Lego, because tomorrow I could die and not have fulfilled my dreams. That's heartbreaking. Breaks my heart. Not fulfilling the 1 or 2 things that you felt like you meant to do, and it just doesn't come to fruition. So it's not. It's like seeing the finish line. And that's it. You saw the finish line. It was right there. You saw it. Oh, but you didn't finish the race. DNF. Did not finish. That's why, coming back to the series, I would like to approach it with different eyes, different soul, different mindset, different everything. There was, I think, Boba Lug, I think, or Rebel Lug. One of the lugs, they did a like 50 gray base plate feed. When they announced it, I was like really hyped and like just curious what their end result would look like, that kind of thing. And I saw it at BrickCon, Atlanta Brick, some, I don't know, one of those conventions that are not in my state, so I don't really care. I was watching the video and I'm like, that's it, you know. You could tell that like there wasn't a lot of coordination when it comes to like, okay, I'm gonna do this section, then you do like the mid section where it transitions into the next scene. It felt like a lot of different people worked on different builds, and that's a problem when it comes to. It's not like the new Hashima City where it's like all different hodgepodge of stuff and it's perfect. Theed is specifically the same design across the board. And when you like a bunch of people use different colors than the Theed palette, it throws it off. And then I look in my room and I see my Theed city just kind of slowly decaying. And I was like, I can't let this dream die, you know? Because it's hope. If you let your hope die, what else is there, you know? If you don't have hope in life and something to look forward to, it just like it gets really dark. It's really dark. Because if it's like you're not there for yourself, who's gonna be there for you when it comes down to it? The olive green. Oh, about like an hour and a half of sorting. It's a process. It's a process, and it's like life. Life is a process. You can't just skip life or not live life, because we probably all have someone in our lives that shouldn't be where they are, and kind of thing. And then you look at the people, how they view them, and it's like they bring them down too. So it's like once you become an anchor in life, everyone and everything around you falls with you, and vice versa. If you're an anchor, you can be pulled up, and the anchor can go up, and everything around you can go up. So, heard this quote, something to do with like, as a son, you bring nutrients into the world. As a son, you bring life into the world. When you're around, people should be happy because you're a son. That's what you should be. But on the other hand, people don't see it like that. It's just this I didn't ask to be here. All this like weird pissy attitude. I don't know, just that people just have, and it's really annoying because it doesn't make me feel any better. But then it also makes me feel better because you're not feeling better. Because not to be like, oh, the more you go down that route of mad, pissed off, I'm going the opposite route of being happy and joyful. So it's the contrast of, because they're mad, I should be happy. Because there's always this balance in the universe of like happy and sad and mad and angry. And I don't want to say it, but like I feel like the universe always needs pain Because every heartbreak comes a great love song. You know, like there's something about it. The most painful things in life are the most worth doing. It's just, it is. I don't know. You can torture yourself all you want, but if you die at the very end, then it wasn't worth torturing yourself. So, I was in high school. I didn't run a lot, but I pushed myself. And this one time, so we have the army recruiters up in the gymnasium setting up all the little equipment. So you have this area where you could do the tire. You could flip the tire so many feet, that kind of thing. And then there's also one where they have multiple tires, so you have to like imagine those are your legs and you're going like that inside the tires. That way you get your agility up. And I think there's a section for like push-ups. And then you have to like run a whole lap around the gymnasium. And you have to like do that so many times, like 3 times or something. By the end of it, I went up to the gym coach. And I'm just like, I don't feel good. I don't feel good. And then immediately just walk to the nearest garbage can, just nonchalantly, and just projectile vomited, just right into it. Just like, from the outside, that must have been the funniest thing in the entire universe. Someone just being like, oh, I don't feel good. Then be like, like I know my body, and I know when my body's had too much, and that was like, because I, got these army guys around you, pushing you. You think they would have came up to me and be like, hey, we like your spirit, we like your attitude. Join the UNSC. Just kidding, that's Halo. But definitely, I don't really look up to people that don't use their brain. Because they don't use their brain, why should I look up to them? I use my brain. And if I don't look up to myself and I use my brain, why should I look up to these people that don't use their brain? And you gotta ask yourself, do they even have a brain? At a certain point, AI, I don't like talking about it. But it's this contentious thing that doesn't go away. Unfortunately. I feel like there's been a lot said about it, but there's been a lot unsaid. What could be. The way I use AI is I'll take one of my art pieces and I'll ask Gemini, Google Gemini, can you convert this into a hyper photorealistic, fantastical looking image? And it does that. It adds color. It makes it photorealistic. And I'm just like, I could get to that point in that designing process, but the amount of time that I would have to take to just make it look polished and really sheen like have really like photorealistic shader type look. It's not like I'm good at shading. Like I have a bunch of art pieces up there, it's photorealistic. So I know I can do that without AI. So it definitely is a tool for me because I already know I can do that without AI. And once you just add AI, it just makes it the combination of the human creation and then that robot, just like, it's already great, the human thing, but then the robot thing is just skyrockets it. And that's why in the next few years, people's reliance on automation will be really detrimental to their health and wealth. It's like, what did people do before alarm clocks? How they know what time to wake up at? And stop and think. Roosters, animals, animals know time. They just know time. They you know, as soon as the sun comes up, you hear caw, 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 caw. And all these, like, you take your dog for a walk at the same time every day. They know exactly what time they should go for a walk. Like all these, like, even though time is a human concept, animals perceive it the same as human. Well, not the same, but definitely like, okay, where's my food, or where's my this? Where, they expect things at a certain time because they just know in their instincts, like, okay, this is the time I need to do something. And that's how I feel about this channel. Probably how Emperor Palpatine felt about Execute Order 66. He's probably just like, well, it's about time. Everyone's really preoccupied. Yoda is often Kashyyyk with greed. Ki-Adi-Mundi is like on Utapau. Not Utapau. Megiddo. Took me on a second. Like everyone's all divided in their own little battles, and this would be like the perfect time while everyone's busy, not facing that enemy. The true enemy is actually within, and anything that Order 66 is just, it's just so heartbreaking. But then it's the beginning of the end. But then that's where Luke comes up and the new Empire, or the new, I guess, new Empire at the time. That's where they really shine. That's where the clone troopers become the TK troopers. And I feel like that's the most interesting part of Bad Batch, was the transition, the clones to the Empire, and how the clones were like, the regs became test experiments. They became homeless. Like, they just became the scum. And it really shows how in reality veterans really, it's unfortunate. It's heartbreaking seeing veterans be treated like that. So anytime I ever see a guy or girl with a little veteran's hat, I served this platoon or whatever war, Vietnam War, World War II. I'm like, thank you for your service. Like, that's the least I could say. You risked. I mean, you probably didn't want to risk your life, but then last week, this one guy was like, man, I wish I was young like you so I could go back to the army. I'm like, yeah, some people just got this urge to, like, if I'm not doing this, then I'm not living, They just need to be out there risking their life on a daily basis to make them feel alive. And I feel like there's other alternatives to that. Do I feel alive right now? Like, oh, I'm living the best life. Living like Larry. I guess I just look at the alternative. What would I be doing if I wasn't sorting Lego right now? I mean, day off, I don't really have any friends to hang out with that share the same days off. So it's like this constant, hey, you want to hang out? Like, oh, I'm busy at work in the morning, kind of thing. That's just, it's art. Just all I got is art, My dog Chloe, she's getting pretty up there in age, so this is probably her. I don't want to say it, but like last year, and I don't like thinking about it, but everything comes and goes. I don't want to think about getting the next dog, puppy, because I've had Chloe since I was 12 and I'm 26, so 14 years. She's like 15 years old. And it's always good to be like, well, we had fun. We had fun. We did everything we could. So that's all we can do. Just live life knowing that you tried. Just try. Because if you don't try, a person next to you is going to try even harder, and they're going to, you know, have that dream job, have that dream girl, have everything that you never had. But because you never worked to get to that point, you never did the groundwork and do the laying out the pavement, and so you can just easily drive over that highway. I'm just full of analogies. I'm just full of it. And it's one of those things, like, I got this big pile right here. Once that pile is done, I got another pile over there. And once that's done, I got another pile. So that's where the sorting part just becomes, yay, I love, because this is 1313, and I can't just be like, oh, whatever, it's Lego, because this was years of my life, you know. I can't not think about that. Like any good Lego fan, I'm grab my little blue juice, well, blue water. This is C4, the blue popsicle, something like that, pop type stuff. And got some pasta. I should probably discuss some Auto Gunga plans and how I really want to, like, not only make it great, how do you make something just so breathtaking without feeling like so overwhelmed? It's a fine balance of making something has so much meaning, but then still have so much fun and not take it too seriously. And I feel like that's where Star Wars really, it like dances with like the light and the dark. How do you take something, you know, not be too serious and dark and gloomy? Because like the intro of Revenge of the Sith, I mean, they got little jokes here and there. They kind of splash it throughout the entire scene, the intro. But then towards the very end, it's like really really dark with Execute Order 66, but then it brings it back around to like, oh, there is hope because Luke and Leia are born. It kind of like ties it off in this like really pretty bow. And that's the problem with Coruscant. I felt like it was just so dark all the time. This is the worst place to be. There's horrible people around. It's dirty and dark and Theed, I feel like it's the complete opposite. But then it's so much far complete opposite. It's almost like it's too clean. It's too nice. It's too. I mean, even if there's a battle going on, it's still, you can still tell it was a beautiful city before. And I need that balance of like the good and the evil kind of thing. And that's where I feel like the Auto Gunga is like the not evil part, but like underwater is really claustrophobic. You're always in like a little submersible. You know, you can feel the glass here. You're what, thousands of feet underwater, and you feel isolated. You feel alone. All these like instinctual human creature, like human nature instincts kind of evolve. And those are my favorite type, like Subnautica. I haven't played the second game because I just kind of gave up video games because you have to at a certain point. I feel so sad playing video games because there's so many other things I know I am doing instead of doing that. Because, you know, you turn that screen off, what are you left with? Like, you spend 5 hours building something in Minecraft and then turn off the screen, or your world gets deleted, or someone hacks into your account, or anything, and it's just gone forever. And I mean, you had fun doing it along the way, but even that, like, that feeling of, oh, I need to restart, that, like, ugh, I put 2 hours into it and it didn't save, that just rips my soul apart. And I'm like, well, I mean, Lego's Lego. It's right. I'm holding it. It's in my hand. It's real. It's tangible. No government. No one overseeing. No, there's no permission granted. You know, I don't gotta wait for an upper management person. I don't gotta rely on anyone else to tell me how to put this brick with this brick. And it's the most pure form of freedom in the universe. What's that one statistic of, like, when you have 6 bricks, just 2x4 bricks, regular, how many permutations you can make? That's like 900 million different combinations, or something crazy like that. 900 billion. So it was an insane number. You can look it up if you want to, but like, the power of the brick, yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's literally like building blocks of the universe. You know, in science we learn adenine, thymine, guanine, cytosine. A's, T's, C's, and G's make up the DNA of everyone and everything. And that's how I feel about Lego. It's a brick, but it could be anything you want. It could be anything. Just anything. And if you don't realize, it could be anything, and you can be anything, just with a few simple change of mind. Like positive affirmations. You know, just tell yourself, I am love. I am loved. I give love. You just little things here and there. As soon as you vocalize it, it becomes real. As soon as you think it, it's not. Your thoughts are thoughts until they're spoken. And the moment you speak your thoughts, that's when there's that like vulnerability where, oh, am I going to be judged with what I say? Or was it the right thing to say? Or am I supposed to say that? All these like anxious thoughts, you know, they're not you. They're not like the unfiltered version of you. When I was little, my sister was like, don't you ever think before you speak? I guess at the time I didn't, because I was like, 8 years old. And after that, I just kind of like kept to myself for a long time, probably until like 20, 21, where I finally like, oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Just say what you think, If they don't like it, too bad. Move on. Because you can't please everyone in this life. It's not your job to please everyone. I mean, you can be a people pleaser, but that's a different profession. That's not something else. Just be happy. Don't worry. Be happy. About 2 hours of sorting. But it doesn't feel like I've been sorting for 2 hours because I've been talking, letting my thoughts fly free in this vast universe. And if nobody watches it, I don't care. If 2 people watch it, good. 2 people are watching. Hi, 2 people. You made it this far in the video. What are your thoughts about existence and life? Leave a comment so I can not get a comment. But I've been used to it for years. YouTube just doesn't recommend any of my stuff. Even though, I don't want to be like, I put so much work into it, but I mean, that doesn't matter. You could put 10 quintillion hours into something and AI will just do it in 2 seconds way faster and better than you will ever do it. And it doesn't mean people are going to appreciate that you put 10,000 hours into it when someone else can do it for less than 2 minutes with a little few prompts, little keywords, a little combination of symbols, and just did all of the work that you put into it 10 times better. And that's where that discipline and trying hard is going to be a sought after thing. Nobody likes a quitter. Nobody likes a quitter. Nobody likes a quitter. Nobody likes a cheater. Nobody likes a liar. Don't quit yourself. Don't cheat on yourself. And don't lie to yourself. Or you just go back to watching whatever silly little TikTok video. I think the state of the world is not healthy. It's not good. It's not. Truth is, it's not meant for children, and that's what everyone's goal should be in life, is to have someone to not be replaced by a robot, be replaced by your offspring that you brought into the world with love and compassion and caring. But when AI can just like, I can take your dog for a walk. Oh, I can wash all your dishes for you. Oh, I can make you breakfast. What do you think that mentality is going to affect the people that actually are going to be doing that in the future? Like, say your mom washes the dishes, but then they got a robot to wash the dishes for them. And this one time, she decides she wants to wash the dishes by herself, and you don't appreciate her job washing the dishes. Then she gets mad. And then it's gonna be like, why are you getting mad when you didn't even have to do it in the first place? We got this robot that can do it instantly. And so it's gonna take this like loving, caring thing and throw it out the window because some other entity can just do it. Just do it. And not complain. Not whine. Not get tired. I'm not saying you need those things in order to get it done. But I'm saying having those things along the way is what makes life worth living. You don't want to be a trust fund child where you're brought into this world with everything, a silver platter, a little dapper suit dressed up. Those people usually end up in the gutters, worse off than they started because they earned nothing in life. Every trial and tribulation just was handed to them. And it's like, if I had $1 billion, what would I do with it? And you stop and think like, yo, $1 billion is nothing. Like, how fast people spend $1 billion nowadays. You just gotta be happy where you're at in life. Whatever little rinky-dink job you got, whatever smile you bring to the next person. Because there's this like ripple effect, this wave, the happiness kind of like flows over you. And if you can share as much happiness with as many people throughout your entire life, it's not like you're forced to be happy. You are happiness. You don't have to think about being happy because you are happy. I want to say the key to happiness is not caring. But there is no key. There's no key to anything because that means it's tangible. But happiness isn't. I want to say happiness isn't real because it could be this weird, like, blinding effects of, like, is it happiness or is it just lust or some sort of disguise as happiness? But then again, you shouldn't pursue something that's not permanent. Don't pursue the unpermanence. That's what I'm trying to get at. Because it's like chasing cars. Don't do that. Don't chase a car. Cars, it's faster, it's bigger, and it's metal. First off, metal and meat do not combine. Any Frankenstein story will tell you that. Oh, it's been like 2 hours of sorting, and part of me is like, would I have gotten more done if I had just grindstoned it out, just me and the brick and time lapse and music and sorting, or talking to no one actually. There's no one in this room besides me and the camera. But it doesn't mean later on in life where I'm like on my deathbed, not watching this and being like, wow, he had a lot of good things to say. I do watch some of my older videos, like my older building series, and I'm just like, that's me. I know that's me, but like, it feels so disremoved from like me now. Does that feeling get worse over time or better? And it's kind of hard to say. It's one of those, are you when you're hungry? I'm like, I mean, are you 5 years from now? Are you from 5 years in the future? No, we're not the same person, because things happen and then we change accordingly to the things happening. But I can literally go like 5 or 6 years in the past and like, okay, on June 10th, 2020, what was I doing? You know, I can, you know, scroll back in my YouTube history, what I upload that day or week, and be like, okay, so I was building 1313 or something, you know, going to college. So it's good to have like this like very specific timeline built out throughout your early years in life. That's why I always recommend people doing a YouTube channel, documenting the process, the journey, of the destination, like every step of the way. Record it. Just do that. Because I've had a lot of people, other friends that were artists, are artists. They're like, oh, I just never took any photos. And it's like, what? What do you mean you never took any photos? When this is the like era of digital. Like, you don't have to go to a printing store and like wait 2 weeks for your photos to get developed. I always have Motorola's because they have the quick gesture thing, so you can like shake your phone and it goes immediately to a camera. So literally at the twist of a wrist, you can capture a moment. So you don't think that art piece was worth capturing? I think that says more about you as a person. Because it's like, you couldn't spend 10 seconds grabbing your camera or grabbing a smartphone and just, okay, bye, you know? And even AI nowadays can auto balance and auto, like literally, like it could be a blurry photo and it could just come out picture perfect. When I was younger, I did stop motion. My God. The amount of time. It, like, you get in the zone. And once you get in the zone, like, time doesn't exist. People don't exist. This realm doesn't, like, there's not, like, nothing matters. Like, it captures all your, everything. Because you're constantly like, okay, so if this Lego person, minifigure, was going to move in this direction, what's the forward momentum of him punching his arm? So when you do that, you know, you're constantly thinking the next 5 steps, literally. Because, okay, so you want him to punch, but then after that punch, he's going to get punched back. So you have to, like, then if it's a fight scene, you have to, like, keep everything in check. Ugh. If it's fun, then yeah, then just do it. You know, just do the fun thing. Don't think about the work. Don't ever think about that. Because work isn't fun, but you can make anything fun at work. Because technically, I'm working right now, but it's sorting Lego, so it's not physically demanding mentally or physically, you know. So but going back to that building thing with all these parts, and it gives me a good idea of what parts I have. That way, I could be like, oh, I got this wedge slope piece. I can make this angle out of it. But for me now, the idea comes first, and the execution comes second, because I can figure out along the way, however, to get to that conclusion. The first thing is always good to be like, okay, what color palette do I want? I want bright, vibrant colors for like corals on the ocean floor of Theed or Naboo. But then again, I also want to have like some sections where it's really dark and grungy and dirty and looking. So it's this like, it's a balance constantly. And then I don't want to start building until I know what I'm going to build. But if I don't know what I'm going to build, how can you start building? Because I always like to have some sort of vague outline. I have these like little sketches, which help a lot, but in order to do that, I need this space, and the space is covered up with other previous projects, and everything boils down to just sorting. It's doing the dishes. Do the dishes. I'll do the dishes. I don't want to do the dishes. I'll do the dishes, you know. It's just doing the thing you don't want to do so much that you don't want to do it. But yeah, I gotta do it in order to get to the juicy stuff. And the juicy stuff is really juicy as soon as you get to it, you know? But you gotta sift through all this stuff. But this stuff is gonna allow you to make all your dreams come true. So it's just really tiring. Everything is so tiring as you get just a few more years into life. That's why I always like look at like 70, 80-year-old people and like, how do you do it? What's the key? How do you keep trucking? How do you want to live? And key happiness is not just following orders. That's definitely not key happiness. And it does not make you a good person just if you follow orders. Like this one time, one of my coworkers like called me good sir because I did, I don't know, whatever. I got kind of a little offended. I'm like, wait, you don't know me. You don't know if I'm a good person or not. Just because I follow orders doesn't make me a good person. You know? Kind of got like really, like, not upset, but just like, I ripped down this path of like, everyone says, oh, I'm a nice guy, but it's like, just because I'm not mean doesn't mean I'm nice. That doesn't inherently mean, oh, you're not a POS, so that means you're an angel, you know? I still think the worst part is like I still got this big pile, and it feels like I didn't do anything. when I look at the little stuff right here, and it's just like, there's so much more. At least I got this really good sorting chair, or not, this is a chair. It's one of those like garage style chairs where you can like go up and down. Very nice and chrome. Really enjoy it. It helps my back. That way I don't have to like hunch over or kneel down to grab anything. I bought 2 of them because I realized when I was showcasing the feed mock, anytime someone's over, there's nowhere to sit down in that room, and it's just like they just stand there and look at it, and they're too afraid to touch it, and it's like, oh, cool. Just like looking at it, you know, like you could touch it, but they're like, oh no, I don't want to break anything. I'm like, I mean, I made it to be played with. And when you hear someone says, "Oh, I don't want to break it," and it's like, they're not Lego people, you know? They don't know that this connects to this. And then whoa, I broke it. Ah, you know, it's like, I think it's the parenting. It has to be the parenting, because like people are so afraid to like, oh, don't break that, don't do, you know. Anytime someone's like, oh, don't break that, I'm like, you know, I'll break it, then I'll fix it. Like, what's your problem, you know? But people are so afraid to try. They're afraid of their own shadow. They're afraid they might fail. They're afraid of looking stupid, afraid of everything. That's why I'm not a huge fan of like thinking what society thinks, because people are stupid. And I see why I never really lingered around a lot of people. I'm more so of like an individual, case by case basis. So I can only have so many friends at a certain time. I don't just have like 30 friends or whatever. 30, 40, 50 friends. And because realistically, you only have time for maybe 3 or 4 friends at most. And you can't handle everyone. There's only so much of you to give, and like once you're done giving your socializing energy to one person, and it's like the next person, maybe they're 10 times worse or something. You know? So. But my phone's literally dying. It's on 20%. I'm gonna keep on doing this until the day I die. Have a great day. Have a great life. See you next time.